You're listening to The Enemy of Hadassah in the Court of Pharaoh. It's 2:22 in the morning as I start this and look up at my clock. This is no coincidence. So therefore I'm going to read what 2:22 means, and it's relevant to me right now. 222. Trust fall. Your angels ask you to trust your place in life right now. You are in the right place at the right time. Take a look around and enjoy the moment. Everything is where it's supposed to be. So I'm going to make sure I plug that in here at the end of this title of this talk because it's very relevant here. That I just so happen to be able to get back here just in time to start this at 2:22. So previously, I read the book of Esther, and in the story, the book of Esther in the Bible, we had Esther. So this king, Ahasuerus, he makes a decree when he meets with some of his people, his advisors, and they decide that they're going to. He puts out a writing all throughout the land to go kill all the Jews, to kill everybody, all the women, the children, everybody. Well, but then he says he wants to spare some women, and he wants them because his queen, he summons her to the court, and she refuses. She refuses to go to the court. So when I read that from the book of Esther in the Bible, we have this king Ahasuerus who wants to put to death his wife, his queen, simply because she refuses to be summoned to the court by him. And he then sets out to destroy um, every everything and everybody. He just like he loses his mind. So he they were having a big ball, right? And so in the book of Esther, it says, on the seventh day, when the heart of the king was merry with wine, he commanded Mehuman, Biztha, Harbana, Bigtha, and Abagtha, Zethar, and Carcas, the 7 chamberlains that served in the presence of Ahasuerus the king, to bring Vashti the queen before the king with the crown royal, to show the people and the princes her beauty, for she was fair to look upon or to look on. But the queen Vashti refused to come at the king's commandment by his chamberlains. Therefore was the king very wroth, and his anger burned in him. The king said to the wise men, which knew the times, for so was the king's manner toward all that knew law and judgment. And the next unto him was Karshana, Shethar, Admatha, Tarisha, Meres, Marsena, and Memucan, the 7 princes of Persia and Media, which saw the king's face, and which sat the first in the kingdom. What shall we do unto the queen Vashti according to the law, because she hath not performed the commandment of the king Ahasuerus by the chamberlains? And this dude Memucan answered before the king of the princess Vashti, the queen hath not done wrong to the king only, but also to all the princes and to all the people that are in all the provinces of the king Ahasuerus. For this deed of the queen shall come abroad unto all women, so that they shall despise their husbands in their eyes when it shall be reported. The king Ahasuerus commanded Vashti the queen to be brought in before him, but she came not. So likewise, all shall the ladies of Persia and Media say this day unto all the king's princes which have heard the deed of the queen. Thus shall there arise too much contempt and wrath. If it please the king, let there go a royal commandment from him, and let it be written among the laws of the Persians and the Medes, that it shall not be altered, that Vashti come no more before the king Ahasuerus, and that the king give her royal estate unto another that is better than she. And when the king's decree which he shall make be published throughout all the empire, for it is great, all the wives shall give their husbands honor both to great and small. So th- basically, Queen Vashti refused to obey the king and come before him. And so he's pissed off, and he then sits with the princes and the chamberlains and is like, what are we going to do about this according to the law? And they say, well, if we allow this to go unpunished, then all the women in all the land are going to refuse their husbands. And so we need to do something about this. So we need to make a decree. And so 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 let's see. And so he says, likewise shall all the ladies of Persia and Media say this day unto the king's princes which have heard the deed of the queen, thus shall arise too much contempt and wrath. If it please the king, let there go a royal commandment from him, and let it be written among the laws of the Persians and the Medes, that it shall not be altered, that Vashti come no more before the king Ahasuerus, and let the king give her royal estate unto another that is better than she. And when the king's decree which he shall make shall be published throughout all his empire, for it is great, all the wives shall give their husbands honor, both to great and small. And the saying pleased the king and the princes, and the king did according to the word of Memucan. For he sent letters into all the king's provinces, into every province according to the writing thereof, and to every people after their language, that every man should bear rule in his own house, and that it should be published according to the language of every people. After these things, when the wrath of King Ahasuerus was appeased, he remembered Vashti and what she had done, and what was decreed against her. Then said the king's servants that ministered unto him, listen to this, let there be fair young virgins sought for the king, and let the king appoint officers in all the provinces of the kingdom, that they may gather together all the fair young virgins unto Shushan the palace, to the house of the women, unto the custody of Hegi the king's chamberlain, keeper of the women, and let their things for purification be given them. So he says he wants to bring all these virgins in here, right, for to please him. And he brought up Hadassah, that is Esther, and okay. So basically he was pissed about this, and then the story goes, there's this decree made to go kill all the Jews in the land and all the women and children, everybody, bring these virgins and stuff like that. And so anyway, that was Esther, in the book of Esther. And I found a interesting parallel in the Quran, which is interesting. The enemy of Hadassah is in the court of the Pharaoh. It's Haman. Haman, this dude in here who wanted to kill Mordecai, Esther's uncle, who raised her. And in the Qasas, this narrative, we have this story. The story is exactly the same. I think it's the same story, except they don't mention Esther in here, I don't think. But I think this is pretty interesting that I found uh, that her enemy that she actually was able to put to death, plus his 10 sons, is in the Quran as well. And this is a story a lot about Moses, but I think the Pharaoh in here is actually the same king Ahasuerus that is spoken of in the Bible, in one of those books, which is which are known as the Scrolls of the Megaloth, which is, for some reason I was prompted to look up what that was, because it was the name of an album and a song of a death metal band that I heard the song Scrolls of the Megaloth on a compilation album called Death is Just the Beginning 2 back around 1993 or something like that. And so this just popped in my head. And then I'm like, okay, let me look up what that is, and found out that there are the 5 Megaloth, which are these books: Esther, the Song of Songs, Ruth is in there, I think Lamentations, and one other one. I forget which it is right now. But then I read that one just now a little while ago, and I called it the Scrolls of Megaloth, the Esther. And then I just, for some reason, again, I don't know why this happens, but it popped in my head. Oh, I wonder if Esther, because I have a Quran, I wonder if Esther's in the Quran. But no, she's not. But Haman, her enemy, her sworn enemy, the guy who was going to kill her uncle Mordecai, who actually saved the king Ahasuerus' lives by thwarting a plot against him by these 2 dudes that were going to try to kill him. But then it turns out that, if you really listen to the story, this king Ahasuerus is not really a cool dude. I mean, he's like, my wife won't listen to me, so I'm going to put out a whole decree for, for all the land, because if people hear about this, then all the wives are not going to obey their husbands when they command them to come. Like, that's a thing. So and 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 so he gets mad and puts out this whole decree, and just gets out of control. But then I found in chapter 28, Al Qasas, the narrative revealed before the Hijra, the story, and Haman is mentioned several times in here. The Pharaoh, I'm not sure yet because I haven't read it, the whole thing. I started reading it, and then I had an emergency I had to attend to. But I don't think that I think his name is mentioned in this book, but there's a lot of parallels. So I'm going to go through this whole chapter 28 here because it's pretty interesting. And it's only, let's see, 427 to 4, uh, where is it? 427 to 4. 39. So it's not that long, and plus these verses here and everything like that, it doesn't take up a lot of space on the page. So I'm gonna go through that. These stories are awesome. They're just because they're fucking insane. But anyway, I'm gonna read this. Yeah, this is great. All right, so we have Al Qasas, the narrative revealed before the hero. This is chapter 28 in the Quran. With the name of Allah, the most gracious, the ever merciful, I commence to read Surah Al Qasas. Tasimim, the benign, the all-hearing, the all-knowing. These are the verses of the perfect book which explains everything vividly. We recount to you a portion of the true account of Moses and Pharaoh with all accuracy for the benefit of the people who would believe. The facts are, Pharaoh behaved arrogantly in his land. He divided inhabitants into parties. He oppressed them and thus sought to weaken a section of them, the Israelites. He killed their sons and sought to make their women immodest by sparing them. In fact, he was of the evildoer. And we chose to confer favor upon those who had been rendered weak in the land, and to make them leaders, and to bestow a kingdom upon them, and thus make them inheritors of our blessing. And we chose to establish them with all powers in the country, and to visit Pharaoh and Haman and their hordes with that power and supremacy which they dreaded from those Israelites rendered weak by them. And we revealed to the mother of Moses, saying, Give him Moses' suck. But when you have fear about him, his life, cast him, placing him in a chest, into the river, and entertain no fear nor grief about his welfare. Verily, we shall restore him to you, and shall make him one of the messengers. Moses' mother cast him into the river, according to the revelation. Then one of the family of Pharaoh picked him up, with the result that he, one day, became an enemy to and a source of grief for them. Verily, Pharaoh, Haman, and the hordes of them both were all wrongdoers. And a woman of the family of Pharaoh said, This child will be a source of joy and comfort to my and your eyes. Do not kill him. He may prove to be useful to us, or we may adopt him as a son. And they did not perceive our purpose. And the heart of the mother of Moses became free from anxiety. She would have nearly disclosed his identity out of joy, how Allah had become guardian of her child, had we not strengthened her heart to help to remain of the firm-minded believers. She said to Moses' sister, Follow him. So she followed, and watched him from a distance, while they, Pharaoh's people, took no notice that she was keeping a watch over him. And we had already ordained and made him refuse the wet nurses to be suckled. So, when the question of his suckling arose after Moses was picked up from the river, she, Moses' sister, said, Shall I point out to you the people of a household who will bring him up for you and will be his sincere well-wishers? This was how we restored him to his mother, so that she might be consoled to see her child, and no longer grieve, that she might know that the promise of Allah was true, a fact which most of these disbelievers of the Holy Prophet do not know. Section 2. What's up? And when he, Moses, reached his age of full growth and maturity and attained perfection, we granted him wisdom and knowledge. That is how we reward the doers of good. And one day Moses entered the city at a time when its inhabitants were idling in a state of heedlessness, and found therein two men fighting with one another, one of his own party, an Israelite, while the other belonged to that of his enemies. The one who belonged to his own people sought Moses' help, against the other who belonged to those of his enemies. Thereat Moses struck him, the latter, with his fist, and this brought about his death. Wow, Moses must have a really strong punch. What's up, Christopher? Hello, Elizabeth McClung Marcian and Leticia Frutos. All right. Moses has a death punch. All right. He said, this death of his has occurred owing to his satanic action. He, Satan, of course, is an enemy of yours, misleading and cutting your ties with God. Moses said, praying, my Lord, I have involved myself into trouble, so protect me. Thereupon he protected him from the evil consequences of his act. Verily, he is the great protector, the ever merciful. He also added, my Lord, since you have always been kind and gracious to me, I can never be a helper and a supporter of the guilty. The next day, early in the morning, he entered the city, apprehensive of the enemy and observing the situation. And lo, the man who had sought his help the day before, again that day, cried out to him for help. Moses said to him, you are a misguided fellow, away from the path of peace and piety. And when Moses intended to lay hold of the man of the day before, who was now an enemy to both of them, the man said, Moses, do you intend to kill me today as you killed a person yesterday? You are only trying to figure as a tyrant in the country. You have no mind to be of the promoters of peace. Then it came to pass that a man came running from the far end of the city and said, Moses, the chiefs are consulting together to kill you. Therefore leave the place at once. I am, of course, your sincere well-wisher. So Moses left that city in fear, and he kept watching around carefully. He said, praying at that time, my Lord, deliver me from the unjust people. Section 3. Section 3. And a drink of C4. It's the nectar of some gods right here. All right. Section 3. When Moses set out, turning his face towards Midian, he said, I hope my Lord will put me on the right course till I reach the goal. And when he arrived at the water of Midian, he found there a party of men watering their flocks, and he found two ladies standing apart from them, holding their flock back. He said, what is your problem? They replied, we cannot water our flock until the shepherds depart, having driven their flocks away, and our father is a very old man. So Moses watered their flock for them. Then he retired to a place with the shade and said, my Lord, I stand in need of whatever good you may bestow upon me. Now, one of the two ladies came to him walking bashfully. She said, my father calls you so that he may reward you for your having watered our flock for us. So when Moses, came to him and told him all that had taken place with him, he, the father of the two ladies, said, have no fear. You have escaped from the unjust people. One of the two ladies said, my dear father, take him into your service. You cannot do better than employ a man who is strong and trustworthy. He, their father, said to Moses, I intend to marry one of these two daughters of mine to you, provided you stay in my service for 8 years. But if you extend your stay, making it complete 10 years, it will be an act of grace on your part. I have no desire to be hard on you by laying any more burden of responsibility on you. Allah willing, you will find me an upright person. Moses said, accepting the proposal, this is a covenant between us. Whichever of the two terms I complete, I will be free from obligation, and there shall be no injustice to me. And Allah is witness over what we have agreed. Section 4. And when Moses has completed the agreed term and set forth with his family, he saw with feelings of warmth, of affection, and love a sort of fire, on the way at a place in the direction of the mount. He said to his family, "You stay here. I have seen with feelings of warmth and love and affection a fire. I hope to bring you some useful and important information from there, or at least a burning brand from the fire that you may warm yourselves." And when he came close to it, the fire, a voice called out to him from a blessed spot on the right side of the valley, from the direction of a tree, "Moses, surely I am Allah, the Lord of the worlds. And put down your staff on the ground." Then no sooner did he see it, the staff, shifting like a tiny, quickly moving serpent, than he turned his back and retreated and would not even look back. God said, "Moses, come forward and have no fear. Surely you are surely you are of those who are safe. Insert your hand into your bosom. It will come forth flawless, sparkling, white, and draw back your arm towards yourself to compose yourself when you encounter fear. So these two signs are proofs from your Lord to be presented here, Pharaoh and his courtiers, for surely they are lawless and disobedient people." Moses said, "My Lord, I killed a person from among them accidentally, and I fear that they will kill me before I am able to fulfill my mission. And my brother Aaron is more fluent and eloquent in speech than I am. So send him with me as a helper to bear me out, for I fear they will treat me as a liar." God said, "We will surely strengthen your arm with your brother, and we will give both of you so much power that they shall not reach you to do you harm. So go armed with our signs. You two and your followers will come out victorious." So when Moses came to them, the people of Pharaoh, with our clear signs, they said, "This is but a forged and unprecedented fraud. We never heard such a thing in the time of our forefathers." And Moses said, "My Lord knows best who it is that has brought true guidance from him, and who shall meet a good end in this world, and will have the reward of final abode in the hereafter. The truth is that these wrongdoers shall never prosper." And Pharaoh said, "O chiefs of my court, I know for you no God other than myself. And O Haman, light a fire for me on the bricks of clay, and get a high building, high like a tower, be built for me, that I may, by climbing over it, have a look at the God of Moses. For I take him to be certainly of those who tell lies." And he, Pharaoh, and his host behaved arrogantly in the land without any justification, and as if they thought that they would never be brought back to us. So we seized him and his host, and we cast them into the sea. Behold, how evil was the end of these wrongdoers. And we made them archetypes of evil, who invited people to the fire, and on the day of resurrection they will find no help. And we have made them to be followed by a curse in this world, and on the day of resurrection they will be among those deprived of all good. Section 5. And another sip of C4. After we had destroyed the earlier generations, we gave Moses the scripture, which contained enlightening argument for the people of Israel, and served as a guidance and promised them mercy so that they might take heed. Prophet, you were not on the western side of the Mount of Sinai when we granted Moses the commission of prophethood, nor were you personally present with the witnesses there when they were making the prophecy about your advent. But we have raised many a generation since then, after Moses, and a long period of time has passed over them. Nor have you been living among the people of Midian, reciting our messages to them. Indeed, it is we who have sent you as a messenger and have revealed all this information to you. And you were not present at the foot of the mount with Moses when we called to you. But all these revelations are from the mercy of your Lord, so that you may warn the people to whom no warner had come for a long time before you, that they may attain eminence. And we have sent you to them, lest when some evil befalls them because of their hands have sent for here we go. And we have sent them to you, lest when some evil befalls them because of that their hands have sent forward, they should say, Our Lord, Why did you not send a messenger to us? If if you had sent one, we would have followed your commandments and would have been of the believers. But now that the truth has come to them from us, they say, why has he, this messenger, not been given the like of that which was given to Moses? Did the people, the disbelievers, not reject before this that which was given to Moses? They say, they, Moses and Muhammad, are both frauds who support each other. They also say, we reject the claim of each one of them. Say, if Moses and Muhammad are both fraudulent and you speak the truth, then bring a book from Allah which is a better guide than these two, the Torah and the Quran, that I may follow it. If they do not accept the challenge and do not answer you, know that they are just following their own low and evil desires. And who should be more erring than one who, leaving aside the guidance from Allah only, follow his own and low and evil desires? Verily, Allah does not guide the wrongdoing people to success. Section 6. We have been sending uninterrupted revelations to them so that they may rise to eminence. Many of the people to whom we gave the scripture before this, the Quran, believe in it too. And when this Quran is recited to them, they say, we believe in it. It is a revelation from our Lord, full of truth and wisdom. Indeed, we had submitted to him even before it. They are the people who will be given their reward twice over, for they have been suffering patiently for the cause of the truth. They meet evil by repaying it with good and spend in the cause of Allah out of that which we have provided them with. And when they hear something vain, they turn away from it and say to those who indulge in vain talk, we shall reap the fruit of our deeds, and you shall reap the fruit of yours. Bidding them goodbye, then say, peace be upon you. We have no desire to have any concern with the ignorant. Prophet, it is not possible for you to guide whomsoever you wish, but Allah guides whomsoever He will. He knows fully well those who would accept guidance. Some of the people say, if we join you and follow this Quranic guidance, we shall be snatched away from our country. Tell them on our behalf, we have not settled them in a safe and secure place to which all kinds of fruit are. Have we not settled them in a safe and secure place to which all kinds of fruit are brought? It is a goodly provision made by us, yet most of them do not know this true fact. We destroyed so many people of many a township who were proud of their civilization and their easy and plentiful means of livelihood. There lie their dwellings, all in ruin. They have been but little occupied since. It is we alone who are everlasting. Your Lord would never destroy the towns until he has raised a messenger in their central place to recite to the people thereof our messages, nor would we destroy the towns unless their citizens be unjust. And, O people, whatever of anything you have been given is only the passing enjoyment of the present life and its mere pomp and show. But that reward which Allah has for you is much better and more lasting than this. Will you not then make use of your understanding? Section 7. Can the person to whom we have made a fair promise, which will be also made good to him, be compared to the one whom we have provided with good things of passing nature, of this life, and who will be among those who, before us, to render an account of his deeds? Let these people not forget the day when he will call to them and say, where are my so-called associated partners about whom you had made such pretensions? Thus, those who have been doomed to condemnation will say, our Lord, these are the people whom we led astray. We led them astray even as we had gone astray ourselves. Now we declare before you that we have nothing to do with them, and we turn to you. It was not us that they worshipped. It will be said to them, call on your so-called associated partners with God. So they will call on them, but they will give them no answer, and they will actually see the punishment. How good it would have been if they had followed the right path. Let these disbelievers not forget the day when he will call on them and say, what response did you make to the call of the messenger? But on that day they will become confused and forget all their excuses, and they will not even be in a position to consult one another. Yet he who repents and believes and does deeds of righteousness is likely to be of those who attain the goal. And your Lord creates what he will and chooses for humankind whatever is best for them. People have no such power and choice. Holy is Allah, and far above all that they associate with him. Your Lord knows what they keep secret in their hearts, and he knows all that they profess. And he is Allah, there is no other, cannot be, and will never be one worthy of worship but he. All kind of true and perfect praise belongs to him in the beginning and the hereafter. The sovereignty and the judgment belongs to him, and to him shall you be brought back. Say, have you ever considered that if Allah should make the night continue over you perpetually till the day of resurrection, there is no God other than Allah who could bring you light? Will you not then give ear to the message of God? Say, have you ever considered that if Allah should make the day to continue over you perpetually till the day of the resurrection, there is no God other than Allah who could bring you night wherein you might take rest? Will you not then use your eyes to witness the signs of Allah? Behold, it is through his mercy that he has made the night and the day for you so that you may take rest therein and seek his bounty, and so that you may render him thanks. And let these disbelievers not forget the day when he will call to them and say, where are my so-called associated partners about whom you had many pretensions? And we shall on that day bring out a witness from every people, and then say to the polytheist, bring a clear proof of your claim. They will know that the true right to godhood only belongs to Allah, and all their false deities that they used to forge will be lost to them. Section 8. Section 8. Verily, Korah belonged to the tribe of Moses, the Israelites, but he rose against them, his own people. We had given him so much riches that his hoarded wealth would have weighed down a party of strong men. Recall the time when his people said to him, do not exalt too much, for Allah surely does not love those who exalt beyond measure. And seek the home of the hereafter by means of that which Allah has given you, and do not neglect to acquire your portion of righteous deeds in the present life. And do good to others as Allah has done good to you. And do not seek to promote evil in the land, for Allah does not love the evildoers who create mischief. Korah said, all this wealth that I have been given is because of the knowledge I possess. But did he not know that Allah had destroyed before him generations of people who were mightier than he and greater in riches and number? And the guilty should not be questioned about their sins being self-evident. Then it came to pass one day that he, Korah, appeared before his people in all his pomp and show. Thereupon those who were desirous of the provisions and enjoyment of the life of this world said, if only we could have the like of all that Korah has been given. He is, truly speaking, the master of a great fortune. But the men of knowledge said, woe to you! The reward which Allah has for those who believe and do good deeds is much better than all this, but it shall be granted only to those who are patiently persevering. Then it came about that we made him and his household extinct into the bowels of the earth, so that he had no party who could help him against Allah, nor was he of those who could defend themselves and could ask for help. Now, the very people who had coveted his lot and position the day before began to say, "Ruin seize you! It is indeed Allah who multiplies the means of livelihood for such of his servant as he will and makes them scant for such of his people as he will. Had not Allah been gracious to us, he would have sunk us also into the bowels of the earth. Ruin seize you! The fact is that those who are ungrateful never prosper." This, section 9. Section 9. This is the abode of the hereafter. We assign it to those who do not seek self-exaltation in the earth, nor corruption. Indeed, those who guard against evil shall meet a happy end. He who brings good deeds into the presence of his Lord on the day of judgment shall have a reward at his hand better than he merits. But he who brings evil, let him bear in mind that those who do evil shall only reap the fruit according to what they did. Prophet, he who has made the teaching of the Quran binding on you shall most surely bring you back to your ordained place of return, the place of pilgrimage, Makkah. Say, "My Lord knows him best who has brought guidance as well as those who are steeped in clear error." Prophet, you had never expected that the book would be revealed to you. It is only the mercy of your Lord that it has been revealed to you. So do not be a supporter of the disbelievers. And do not let them, the disbelievers, turn the commandments of Allah once they have been revealed to you, and call humankind to your Lord, and be not of those who associate partners with him. Call on no other God beside Allah. There is no other, cannot be, and will never be one worthy of worship but He. Everything is liable to perish but those righteous deeds, by means of which you seek His attention. The sovereignty, as well as judgment, belongs to Him, and to Him you shall be brought back. All right, that was the Al-Qasas, which is chapter 28 and the Quran in part 20 of the Quran. And so again, in the beginning of that was mentioned Haman several times, who was in the court of the Pharaoh, who they didn't mention by name. But this the story that made me look at this was the book of Esther in the Bible, because it's one of the scrolls of the Megillot. Which again was the name of a death metal album from an Australian Christian extreme metal band that I had gotten their album, or I had actually listened to the one song, Scrolls of the Megaloth, from a compilation album called Death is Just a Beginning 2. And then I looked up what the Scrolls of the Megaloth were, and I found out there were the 5 Megaloth, and there are these books including Esther, Lamentations, Ruth, Song of Songs, and I forget what the other one was. And then there's that King Ahasuerus who did all kinds of crazy stuff, including acting like a child. He got really mad at the fact that his wife, the queen, didn't simply. I mean, this is this dude got really, really upset that his wife didn't come to see him when he asked her to. And this set out a whole thing where he basically dethroned her and then went and sent out to, her name was Vashti. And so he's all pissed off about that, and he was all scared that like all the women in the land would hear about this and then not obey their husbands also. And so he set out a decree in letters of every language of the land and to all the different people, and then sent out for all these virgins to find one of them who would be his wife to replace Vashti as the queen, simply because she didn't come when he called her. And I mean, I don't know. But in the King James version of the Holy Bible that I have, which is published by, this is the authorized King James version. This was published by, I don't know, how do you have a copyright in this? By copyright 2017 by Thomas Nelson. I guess the copyright is like some of the descriptions in here. Like in the book of Esther, it starts with, it says, God's hand of providence and protection on behalf of his people is evident throughout the book of Esther. Though his name does not appear once, though his name does not appear once, right? So the name of God does not appear once. Haman's plot brings grave danger to the Jews and is countered by the courage of beautiful Esther and the counsel of her wise cousin Mordecai, resulting in a great deliverance. The Feast of Purim becomes an annual reminder of God's faithfulness on behalf of his people. Esther's Hebrew name was Hadassah, myrtle, and 2:7. But her Persian name is Esther, E-S-T-E-R, was derived from the Persian word for star, stara. The Greek title for this book is Esther, E-S-T-H-E-R, and the Latin title is Hester, H-E-S-T-E-R. My Hadassah has a first name, H-E-S-T-E-R. All right, so there's, but yeah, this is an interesting crossover because the same guy's name, Haman, who happens to be in the book of Esther, he's King Ahasuerus, and in the palace at Shushan, whose wife was Vashti, and um Haman got, so yeah, so it's like chapter 3 says, after these things did King Ahasuerus promote Haman, the son of Hamadatha the Agagite, and advanced him and set his seat above all the princes that were with him. So, and this is the same Haman that is in the court of the Pharaoh in the Quran. And so, I mean, that's a very strong similarity there. I mean, of course, the Quran is mentioning Moses and everything. So, and he mentions the Torah. So, I mean, of course, they're looking at the same books, but it's just slightly different story. I don't know why there's no mention. They don't mention the Pharaoh's name as Ahasuerus, but whatever. I mean, that's how it be. Uh, But I think that I found the enemy of Hadassah in the court of Pharaoh, Haman to Haman. Oh, and uh, I started reading this, and then I had an emergency. I had to stop it and come back. And when I did, Mr. Christopher Birkenbein, if you're still listening, it was 2:22 exactly when I started reading it. So now that is, in the Book of Angels, I'll close out with the Angel Numbers book. That 2:22 says exactly this, and it's 3:05 right now. Trust fall. Your angels ask you to trust your place in life right now. You are in the right place at the right time. Take a look around and enjoy the moment. Everything is where it's supposed to be. So that's what that is. That's what that be. Hello, Deja Tevis. Clarity Concierge. Hey, what's up? Christopher Birkenbein, Elizabeth McClung, Marcy Ann, and Leticia Frutos. It's 3:06 in the morning. I'm gonna come up again one time because I feel like I wanna. Yeah, well, we'll see. This was the enemy of Hadassah in the court of Pharaoh, Haman, and then it was at 2:22. Hey, am I good at bringing some titles together? Right? Isn't that cool? Right? That's some clickbait there. The enemy of Hadassah in the court of Pharaoh. Right? It's pretty cool. All right.